Hello guys, and welcome back to my video. So in this video we are going to be developing the cart checkout, right? So in the checkout, make sure that we must display the user's address, the products, and then we'll make them to place an order, right? So without wasting much of the time, let's dive into our code. So let's go into our pages, and then let's create another file called checkout. Checkout screen dot. Okay, so it's going to be a stateless widget. Okay, so let's just change it to checkout screen. Okay, so we are going to be using a riverpod in this screen. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that it extends the consumer widget. So make sure that consumer widget, and then in the build method we must pass in the widget reference, which allows us to. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to get the current user, because we are going to use that to get the user address, right? So current user, which is equal to firebase auth dot instance, and then dot current user, like this. Okay, the next thing is the user address. Final user address is equal to reference dot watch, and then we need to get user. We need to get the user address. Get user address provider. So if we go into our address controller, right, this is the get user address provider, right? So if we go, this is the method for getting the user address. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to get the user provider. Okay, so user, final user provider. So let's just say user info is equal to reference dot watch get user provider, get user data provider here, like this. And then in this we need to pass in the current user dot uid, because we want to get a specific user's information. Okay. Okay, forgive me for that. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is let's return a scaffold. Okay, and then we need an app bar, and then the title, we are just going to give it a title, a text. Let's just give it a title of checkout, right? Then let's just style it. Then we need let's give it a font size of 18, and then a font weight of bold. Okay, so that's it for the app bar. Let's just give it an elevation of 0. Okay, Now for the body, what we are going to do is we are just going to say user provider user information dot when, and then we need to pass in user data, which is the data that we'll get from Firebase. And then we need, if there's an error, we need to display that error, and also we need to display as tech trace. Okay, like this, error text, and then error.toString, like this. Okay, and then here we need to display a loader. Okay, constant loader, like this. Okay, so inside the body, what we need to do is we need to also to return user data. We need to return user data dot cut, if you still remember from our previous video. If it's not empty, then if it's not empty, and then also we need to check if the user address also is not equal to null. Okay, then we'll also display user address dot when, user address dot when. Okay, so here the data is supposed to be address, and then also we need to display if there is an error, so say error, and then stack trace, like this, and then we need to display an error text, and then let's just convert this to string. And then if somehow our data is still loading, we need to just display a circular progress indicator in the form of a loader. Okay, like this. Okay, so else, because we are checking if the user data dot cut, if the cut, we need to make sure that the cut is not empty and the user address is not equal to now. That's when we would display the checkout. Otherwise, if it's equal to now, we are just going to display a text, and then on that text we are just going to say make sure you add items to cart and an address. Okay, like this. And then yeah, let's make it a constant also with the loader. Okay, yeah, so now we are good to go. So now the next thing that we need to do is we need to populate the address, final address data. What we are just going to do is say final address data is equal to address from our model, and then the city is going to be address dot city, address dot country. Okay, think we didn't add the country. Okay, it's supposed to be address model. It's supposed, I think there's a flutter is has its own model. Yeah, so here we're going to say address dot city, address dot address, and then address dot house number, address dot house number, and then address dot zip code, like this, address dot zip code, like this. Okay, so now that we are done populating this, the next thing that we do is we need to return a single child score view. Okay, single child score view widget. Children. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to display a center widget, the child text, the text is going to be your address. And then let's just style it. So let's just style it. So to style it, I'll just copy and paste this code to save the time. Yeah, this is the styling here. Okay, so it's supposed to be constant. And then next, what we need is a container. And then we need to decorate it using box decoration. And then we need to give it a border radius, which is border radius dot circular, which is going to be 20. Okay. And then the next thing, we need to give it a height of 300, then a child, which is going to be column. And then let's give it a constant size box, a height of 25. Okay, and then you need a padding, which is going to be 8. Okay, then the next child is going to be a row. So we need to make sure that there's a space between the row items, main axis alignment, and space between, like this. Then we are going to say your address, and then we need to style it. So I'll just copy this style to save time. So, and then okay, it's supposed to be style like this. Okay, and then for the address, let's just copy this word text. It's copy it and paste it below. Command V, and then let's just change this to address dot address, like this. Okay, and then let's change it to 15, and then let's remove the font weight. Okay, then let's give it a constant. This must be constant. Okay, and also right. So that's it for the row with the padding. So the next thing is we need a space between, so we're just going to use a size box again. Size box, let's give it a height of 10. Okay, so basically this is, we are going to just do a similar thing. So let's just copy this code from the padding. Okay, let's just copy this, let's paste it below, and then let's change this to city. And then let's also change this from address dot city, like this. And then let's also put a constant size box, a height of 10. Yeah. Okay. So let's also do the same thing. Let's just paste that, and then your here it's supposed to be house number. House no. Okay. So address dot house number. Okay. So let's also do this. Let's copy this also up to the padding. Let's copy, paste it below. Okay, we are left with the zip code, so let's change this to zip code, zip code, and then let's change that to zip code dot to string. Let's change that to string. Okay, so we are done with showing the user's address part. Okay, so now let's move on to the next, which is let's just create text below that one, text. Then now we are supposed to display the user's products that are in the cart, your products, like this. Okay, and then let's style it. So I'll just copy this style so that we do not waste much of the time. So let me just copy the style here. Okay, constant. Okay, let's, since this whole text is not dynamic, just change it to constant. Okay, and then now on the next step is we need to display user information dot when so what we need to do is we need to make sure that we display a size box. So let me just say size box. Let's give it a height, which is media query context dot size dot height, and then multiply by 0.8, like this. Okay, so now that after this, the child is going to be a list view. It's going to be a list view, and then children, we have to display the children. And then inside the children, we need to display a column or a column widget, and then the children is going to be user. It's going to be user data dot cut, which can be nullable, dot map. So want to map through the cut items, so let's change to cut item. And then once we map through the cut item, we want to display the cut item widget, which is going to display the cut item, which we are going to pass in the cut item. And then after that, what we need to do is we just need to convert this to a list. Okay, so that's it. And then after that, what we just need to do is need to have some space, so we're going to use sized box. Size box, we give it a height of 15, a height of 16. Okay, like this. And then the next thing that we are going to do is we just need some padding. Okay, padding, edge insets dot all 8 0. We need child is going to be a row, and then children here. And then main axis alignment, dot space between we just need to display the text, which is total, and then we just copy the style so that we do not waste so much time. Okay, copy and then paste it. And then the next thing will be to display another text, which is going to display the total. Okay, so what we do, $$ and then we pass in user data dot kind total. Okay, and then we need to convert that to a string, like this, to string. Okay, and then also we need to style it, so I'm just going to copy this style, style, let me just paste it. Okay, now we're good to go. Now the next thing, now that we are done with this row and padding, the next thing is to display like an elevated button. So elevated button, on pressed, we want to just leave it like that, and then we need to just display a text. Then the text is going to be, we're just going to say place order. Okay, and then we just copy the style, and then I'll just paste it in. Okay, it's not okay, so that we do not waste so much time. Okay. All right, so let's wrap this elevated button in a size box. It's going to be, we are going to be the height of 50, and then also a width of 400, and then let's give it a padding, and then let's also center it. Okay, so I think that's basically it for the checkout page. I think we are done with the checkout page. So now what we need to do is we need to go to our checkout bottom navigation, this checkout bottom navigation that we created, right? So what we just need to do is we just make sure that when the user clicks this, we will navigator dot push, and then we'll pass in the material page route builder, and then we'll pass in the context, and then this should take us to the checkout screen like this. Okay, so the checkout bottom, now we just need to use this push to push us to our checkout screen. So if we just reload our application, as you can see now, if I go proceed to checkout, now we can see that we now have this button. We now have this, your address, your products, and checkout. So before we just finish round up, let's go into our checkout screen. I just make sure in the app bar, title, we need title, and then we need actions. Inside our actions, we just need a text. Let's just give it an add address. Okay, so let's give it a gesture detector. On tap, and then this should take us to navigator dot push. Okay, we pass in the material page route, builder, pass in our context, and then this should take us to add address page like this. Okay, so this will allow the user to add address, and then let's give it just a padding. Okay, let's rerun this up and let's see. Okay, proceed to checkout, add address. You can see now you can add your address from a checkout if you don't have any address. So let's see if we get rid of these items. Let's say if we clear cut, so that means we cannot go because we don't have okay, so this was it, guys, on the checkout page. In the next video we are going to be adding the orders to database, and in the next video we're going to be rounding up, making sure that we add Stripe payments. Thanks for watching.